town may need to adopt those things into its charter.
Sure.
Right now, our charter is only just that one issue, just the select board has the authority
Yes.
to do things. And so that's like the only kind of
Okay, so we have,
administrative
yeah,
thing that I think might have to happen. But that's not like
it's not a huge thing.
usually not a big deal. It is a legislative process, but those charter changes, as long as they're not like Brattleboro does, has proposed charter changes to allow 16 and 17-year-olds to vote.
Okay.
That's a controversial issue.
Sure.
The Republicans oppose it. The governor vetoes it. It's like, normal charters like this, like those go through.
Mr. Washburn.
So if you're not proposing something
No, it'll just
crazy, controversial,
perfect.
it's not. Yeah, but I'll definitely,
All right.
keep me posted.
We'll try and we'll see what we can do to move it forward.
I'll try to, if there's a role for, just within Mark too.
Okay.
With my role in Mark, if I can be supportive through that in a quick capacity too, I can help. I know in general,
Mr. Brandt.
the town, the planning commission, Mark, with our others. Yeah, it should be great too. Jason, obviously, so.
That's great. Awesome.
Let me go.
I like that tie.
Feels good having all the ducks in a row.
One job,
I know the feeling.
see my wife. It's her birthday.
Oh, yeah, don't miss that one.
I wasn't here. This is my first time I get to attend.
I wrote in Dave.
I was at town meeting. Mine wasn't.
It's like,
Mine was 24.
oh, it's.
Let's
So
get on
this
with
is
it.
what
Get
we
on with the
signed.
show.
Yeah.
Ireland's on tonight, better watch that.
2025. And then the explanation. That's right.
Yeah, I read the one and I immediately left a voicemail for oops.
Redo it.
Hey, is Vern working the bridge there? What's left?
So, what's that?
I can't believe nobody put it in the roof free.
Yeah, they got the eastbound almost torn down. They drive in the middle. And
I think he helped.
Before we start tonight, I just wanted to take a couple moments to remember two people involved in village government for many years. Howard Barton, who was the superintendent of the Light Commission, and Herb Van Gilder, who moderated this meeting for many years. So I just want to take a brief moment of silence for them and anyone else who's not here tonight. Okay, thank you. Just some quick notes about the process tonight. There are 7 articles to be decided through village meeting. One was done just now on paper ballot, and the rest will be done by all of us here tonight. We'll work through all the articles on page 8 and 9 in the village report, which you all should have. We can make decisions on those articles only, and we'll be using Robert's Rules of Order. After someone has made a motion to second for each article, we could have discussion. If there's anything to be said, please use the microphone here, even though we can all hear each other. Only registered voters in the village of Ludlow can participate. If there's no objections, town village manager Brendan McNamara can participate as well tonight. Are there any questions about the process tonight? All right. Looks like we can start with Article 2. Article 2. Shall the voters of the village of Ludlow fix the salaries of the village trustees, water commission, and village clerk the same as last year? That being village trustees, $1,000, water commission, $1,000, and village clerk, $1,000. Is there a motion to move the article? Mr. Rose, is there a second?
Second that motion.
All right. Is there any?
We talked about this last. Increase, because I was a trustee for 22 years and they've made the same money since then, and I wonder if we could do something for the village officers this year, or how the crowd feels. Anybody know?
I'm not sure when the last one was, Mr. Rose.
Mr. Washburn, when's the last time you got a raise?
I don't remember. That's how
Yeah.
long it's been.
Yes. You all do have the power to make an amendment if you wanted to change those numbers.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rose. Can I steal your book? I do want to shake your hand. Alan Couch, 21 Meadow Street, village voter for 22 years. While I would like to say yes, that we should continue with this, I think they're grossly underpaid. And I don't know what is a worthy compensation of these gentlemen and gentlewomen who are on these commissions. And I would entertain feedback from people who have been serving for years. I mean, I hate to put it in their lap to say what is your worth on these commissions, but I would entertain a motion to increase the trustees to $2,000, the water commission to $1,500, and the village clerk to $1,500. And I'd be interested in other opinions.
All right, so that's a motion to amend that for $2,000 for village trustees, $1,500 for water commissioner, and village clerk, $1,500 as well. Is there a second to that amendment? All right. Is there any discussion on that amendment? So what we'll do is we'll vote on the amendment first. If there's any more discussion about the main motion, we can do that then, and then we'll vote on the motion again, whether it's passed with the amendment or not, whether that passes. So all those in favor of the amendment of village trustees receiving $2,000, water commission $1,500, and village clerk $1,500, say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The amendment is passed. Is there any further discussion on Article 2, the main motion? All right, hearing no discussion on the main motion, will all those in favor in Article 2 as amended, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the article as amended is passed. Article 3. Shall the voters of the Village of Ludlow authorize the Board of Trustees to borrow money in anticipation of taxes or other income to meet the expenses of the village in any part of its indebtedness? One would like to move that article. Ms. Bixby? Is there a second? All right, and just your name? Great.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 3? Yes.
Good afternoon, Alan Couch again. My question is, a few articles down, we will vote on the town or the village budget. So my question is, if the village budget goes above what we vote on, by voting yes to this article, are we allowing the trustees to borrow money above and beyond the budget that will be voted on down the road? In 22 years here, I'm still figuring my way around here. So I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot by saying yes to this and no to the budget that's, Article 5, I think. Or if we pass Article 5, does this allow the trustees to borrow money above and beyond what we vote on down the road? So if somebody could address that, that would be great.
Sure, Alan, I'll address it. My understanding is that the budget is voted on, so that's the budget target number that we were shooting for. But obviously, if in the event of an unexpected event, flood, that this allows the trustees to borrow extra money. So, for example, if they had to come to them to say, we need an extra $500,000 for a note from the bank to supplement those funds, for example, from FEMA, that allows them to do that.
Okay.
As opposed to calling a meeting.
And I understand that your expenditures are going to need to be met before you collect taxes.
Yep.
So I understand that part of it. But I just want to make sure that, all of a sudden down the road, we're not on the hook for not we, but the taxpayers in the village aren't on the hook for expenditures above and beyond. So I'm sorry, Justin, go ahead.
No, it's a great question. The way that I've always understood it is anything like Brendan said, an emergency situation, an infrastructure thing that needs repair, a vehicle that might be down that needs to be fixed or replaced. Those types of things are what this article applies for.
Okay. I appreciate that, and thank you for clarifying that for me.
Thanks for the question.
Any other discussion on Article 3? All right, we can vote on Article 3. All those in favor of Article 3 say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the article is passed. Moving on to Article 4. Shall the Village of Ludlow collect taxes on real property in installments, taxes to be paid to the town treasurer on August 15th, 2024, November 15th, 2024, February 15th, 2024, and May 15th, 2024, and must be delivered to the town treasurer and postmarked on or before the due date. Is there a motion to move Article 4? Couch. Is there a second? Julie Nicole, thank you. Any discussion or any amendments on this one?
We just want to amend the dates, correct? The 2025 dates. They're supposed to be reflective February 15th, 2025, May 15th, 2025. A slight clerical error.
All right, is there a second for that amendment? Any more discussion on changing those dates? So the amendment would be to change February 15th to 2025 and May 15th to 2025 as well. So we can vote on that amendment if there's no more discussion. All those in favor of the amendment changing the February and May dates to 2025, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Is there any more discussion on the main motion as amended? All right, so we can now vote on the amended motion for Article 4 with those dates changed. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amended article is passed. Moving on to Article 5. Shall the voters of the Village of Ludlow vote a specific amount in lieu of a rate on a dollar on the grand list as set forth in the village trustees' budget? Then the trustee shall set the tax rate necessary to raise this amount after the grand list has been completed and lodged in the office of the village clerk. The amount to be raised by taxes is $395,375. Is there a motion to move Article 5? Mr. Bixby is the second. Mr. Rose. Any discussion on Article 5? Yes.
Do we have to raise that amount by the $5,000 because we just gave them a raise?
Yes, I believe so.
Right, 5,000 is correct, right? Three trustees, 3 water commissioners, and 1 village
Yep,
clerk.
1,000. Yes, 5,000.
Does that need to be an amendment?
Yep. So are you making the amendment?
Make that motion that we amend the amount for the budget of 395,375.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think we have to do that, Sharon. It's an addition, right, but we're voting on the budget now, to the best of our ability. We handed in at 300 and whatever the figure is, 390,000. By you adding that on, that's an automatic transfer. That's the way I feel about it. No,
No,
you're thinking, I saw.
I'm thinking.
I saw you do it. Yeah.
You could do it so you're safe. I also think that it's voted as a separate article, it's okay, but it wouldn't hurt to do the amendment as well.
Okay.
But I agree with you.
Well, that's increasing it twice, that's all I'm saying.
I rescind mine.
Okay. Any other discussion on Article 5? Right. All those in favor of passing Article 5, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The article is passed. Moving on to Article 6. Shall the voters of the Village of Ludlow, pursuant Title 24, Vermont State Annotated Section 1682, allow for optional electronic delivery of the annual village report? Would someone like to move that article? Mr. Couch, is there a second? Lorraine Hughes? Any discussion on Article 6? Yes.
So does that mean that there would be no more printed report mailed out?
It says optional, Dave. I think.
Right, but will you still send the printed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name of the lady who seconded it. Hughes. Lorraine Hughes? Thank you.
Mr. McNamara,
Sure.
this being an optional electronic delivery, is there a way that the citizens are able to opt in by checking a box or opt out? Are they all going to be shipped out just by
Yeah,
default?
they're all shipped out by default, and
Okay.
if you would rather have it electronic, you have that option.
I always prefer the hard copy.
It should be available on the link.
Yeah. It is, it's always available
Online.
online,
PDF.
but we do send it out hard copies as well.
Yes.
I don't know if this is germane, I can't get to this article or not, but is there any way we can start sending one to each household? I have multiple of my phones, I don't need more. It's kind of a waste of money.
There are ways to try and consolidate that. Generally speaking, it's one to every address. Yeah, to every registered voter is the. I know that it's in a lot of towns. When they do it, sometimes they can double them up if they know. But if you don't know specific who are all in the same household, it becomes difficult. I think allowing for, electronic delivery is getting us there. Where we can, it can be a cost though. Again, don't have the software to do that. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's something we can definitely look into because it will cut costs significantly. So,
Updating voter rolls is a huge
yes.
thing,
Yeah.
too.
All right. Any more discussion on Article 6? If not, we can vote on Article 6. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the article is passed. Finally, Article 7, to transact any other business necessary and proper when met. We can't make any binding decisions here, but if anybody has comments or anything else they'd like to say, now is sort of the time to do that. Yes?
I would like to thank Earl for all the years of service he's put in to the town and village of Ludlow. He's put a lot of
Thank you.
Yes? No, you can go.
The village has 100-something thousand in ARPA funds. What's the plan? What are you guys going to do with it?
That's a great question, Mr. Rose. We're going to hold public meetings after this next election cycle, and we're going to hold public forum and decide what the taxpayers would like to do with that, different options. But those will be forthcoming in the next few months.
And I think a lot of it was in previous meetings, a lot of the consensus was for sidewalks, if I'm not mistaken.
There was discussion
Yeah,
on
so-
sidewalks and
okay.
infrastructure projects.
Sure.
49 people.
Yeah, so we'll probably, at our next, let's say, the next village meeting is Tuesday, a week from today. We'll set the first ARPA meeting very shortly after that for the village. Town's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, that money has to be spent this year, though.
Has to be
December.
allocated by the 31st of December. So does not have to be spent. It just has to be basically decided and allocated to where it's going.
Mr. Couch?
Sorry to touch the canker sore, but it's been a year since I've mentioned merging the village and the town, and would appreciate it if there was some conversation about that, pro or con. Not trying to put anyone out of a job, but I think we have some redundancies here, and it's been a minute since it's been discussed. So I would appreciate that to at least be on the table and discussed in the future. So thank you again.
Thank you. We're very interested in figuring out how best to do that. and it's one of our top agenda items going into the new meeting here next week.
I've, in the last week, and even the last, we'll say, 25 minutes, had conversations with Logan, Nicole, just because from my standpoint, I want to make sure everything, before we start moving on this, everything is good, and I have a full grasp at the state level and how that will transition down to us charter-wise, et cetera. But I would expect to see movement on that merger very, very soon. Again. So, yes, so, and we do, kind of lining things up in terms of, and this is just me kind of thinking out loud too in my head in terms of voting. There will have to have, obviously, meetings that will be public information meetings. In terms of votes, we do have a primary in August that would allow us for a vote, as well as a presidential election in November. That's kind of the timeline in my head. Whether that works or not, we'll see how fast we get things going. But again, my personal goal, if you're asking me, would be to have that pretty much merged and voted on by November at the latest.
Yeah.
Isn't Ludlow Electric a big part of the village?
So there is part of what, and my conversations with Logan and the town, I think it was just about this time last year, the town adopted a charter, which was very bare bones. The town didn't have a charter. The village has a very extensive charter. So what we'll have to look at is the town may have to adopt pieces of the village charter, which would encompass Ludlow Electric. That is one of the, I don't want to, in Logan's we agree. It's not I don't want to call it a stumbling block, but it's going to be the biggest piece of the whole thing because it's, Ludlow Electric is a lot like town libraries. It's kind of, it's an entity of the town to a certain extent, and, the control over it is there, but it's not. Has its own board of directors, et cetera. So that's going to be the one thing that we have to work out. This is a merger. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's done all the time here in the state. Most times where charters are changed and there's issues with the state adopting it is like, for example, in Brattleboro, sometimes they propose that 15, 16-year-olds can vote. State sometimes pushes back on that. This is not that. This is more trying to streamline things a little bit more, eliminate some redundancy, I think, and I still point to the fact, yes, the flood happened, but last year that we couldn't pave the access road because the village didn't get the money and the town did, and you could only pave 3/4 of it. That's kind of just becomes a hindrance for the town. So I don't think, I think this will be, it'll be tedious, but we'll get it done. I'm confident in that.
Thank you, Brandon, for addressing that. Any other discussion? Before we adjourn, I have the official results for today's Australian ballots with 49 votes cast out of the 620 on the checklist. For moderator, Newton Rose, me, with 48 votes. For village trustee, Julie Nicole with 48 votes. For electric light commissioner for the 2-year term, Gary Peter Polliner II with 44 votes. For electric light commissioner for 3-year terms, Shannon Barton Stark with 43 votes. And for water commissioner, Ronald Bixby with 48 votes. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn? Mr. Bixby, is there a second? Mr. Rose? All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. All those opposed, no. The meeting is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you.